Good afternoon. FM Radio Main News, the headlines. Politics surrounding ECR's funeral are about 2026 general elections, say ACA. A kidney foundation appeals to government to address the shortage of renal devices used in dialysis. And Rwanda and Congo agreed draft peace deal to end conflict. 5FM Radio Zambia and YouTube 5FM Radio Zambia. Tisha Nakashamba Twambi Kusita Leonika is concerned about the current Zambia inclusive, saying they fail to live up to the promises of independence. The veteran politician is disappointed by Zambia's failure to live up to the multi-party democracy. Speaking when he featured on the Thursday's edition of the Burning Issue program, Prince Leonika underscored the need for Zambia to get back to the drawing board in order to reconstitute real multi-party democracy.
My disappointment, that we need to go back to the drawing board to reconstitute Zambia, if it is redeemable, and to reconstitute real democracy. And the democracy is an attitude of mind. Sometimes I feel that I was thinking yesterday of the biblical references that you don't put new wine in old skins, wine skin. And this is what we have done. We've tried to introduce democracy in the constitutional wine skins, which are tattered of the old ones. And the wine won't hold, democracy won't hold in a framework which is basically a one-party state framework.
In the meantime, Prince Leonika said the misunderstanding surrounding the late 60th Republican President Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu's funeral is all about the 2026 general election. Prince Leonika added that the funeral of the late former president is marred by politics.
When the conditions are right, and I'm sure the future holds prospect that the conditions are right, because the only thing making these conditions the way they are is the prospect of the election. So after the elections, the situation will change. We don't have leaders who are able to put their personal interests and personal wishes aside. There is even talk that if you have the president has to be there. That's not even correct.
Appointment of Wama board chairperson undermines corruption fight. The Zambian Civil Liberties Union ZCLU has questioned the reappointment of the Water Resource Management Authority Wama board chairperson John Kunda and some other former board members. The organization's executive director Isaac Mwanza says the decision demonstrates a troubling lack of commitment by the New Dawn administration to depart from the failures of past regimes. Mr. Mwanza adds that despite repeated promises of a reinvigorated and uncompromising stance against corruption, what the organization continues to see is a familiar pattern of tolerance, selective accountability, and business as usual governance. Mr. John Kunda took the extraordinary step of testifying in defense of General Mr. Kenneth Nyundu, who has since been convicted of forgery, uttering false documents, and obtaining pecuniary advantage by false pretense in relation to his own employment contract. He says this testimony, in the view of the organization, was a clear attempt to shield Mr. Nyundu from facing the full weight of the law. Mr. Mwanza has charged ZCLU reviewed the commission of these crimes. He says it is therefore unconscionable board members who failed to question how their signatures were fraudulently used, displaying gross dereliction of duty, should now be entrusted with overseeing the same institution once more. Mr. Mwanza has since called on the minister to urgently reconsider these appointments in the interest of accountability, institutional reform, and the public good.
During a time when Wama had serious allegations of corruption and abuse of office, leading to an estimated loss of about 3 million kwacha. During his previous tenure as board chairperson, engineer Kenneth Nyundu, who has since been convicted of forgery and obtaining pecuniary advantage by false pretense in relation to his own employment contract. This testimony, in our view, was a clear attempt to shield Mr. Nyundu from facing the full weight of the law. The decision, therefore, by the minister to reappoint a man who failed to stop the rot demonstrated troubling from the failures of past regime.
In other related developments, against corruption, Chief Executive Officer Brighton Tembo has stated that the newly appointed Anti-Corruption Commission Board does not inspire confidence as well as inject new life in corruption fight. Mr. Tembo has accused the new ACC Board Chairperson, Supreme Court Judge Evans Hamaundu, and Commission Director General to have failed to demonstrate leadership needed in order to help steer corruption fight. In comparison with Chairperson Musa Mwenye, Mr. Tembo said the commission was effective as it raised pertinent issues about the genesis and validity of corruption fight obtaining in the country.
You know, as Community Action Against Corruption, we feel the newly appointed Anti-Corruption Commission Board, led by retired Judge Evans Amaundu, and the new director of the Anti-Corruption Commission, they have failed to demonstrate the leadership that can inspire confidence, new life in the corruption fight in Zambia as of today. Because if you look at all the prominent cases that have been pending at the Anti-Corruption, they are still pending, despite having over 5 months of the new office bearers at the Anti-Corruption Commission. Because as Zambians, we expected the new board to quickly move things in the direction that can inspire confidence in our corruption fight. But unfortunately, this is not the case. All the prominent cases like the Financial Intelligence Center report of 2023 and 2024, they are still there pending, no direction.
Kidney Foundation of Zambia is appealing to the Ministry of Health to urgently intervene and resolve the impasse surrounding the shortage of nipro bloodlines, medical devices used in dialysis and other procedures where blood needs to be circulated outside the body. Kidney Foundation of Zambia Secretary General Augustine Mukuka says the shortage of the medical devices has negatively affected renal services in most public hospitals, adding that the situation poses serious threats on the lives of the patients. Mr. Mukuka has attributed the shortage to non-restocking of the said medical devices by the Zambia Medicines and Medical Supplies Agency, ZAMSA. Mr. Mukuka is therefore calling on the Ministry of Health through the Zambia Medicines and Medical Supplies Agency, ZAMSA, to make the renal department special as doing is the procurement of the devices.
As Kidney Foundation of Zambia, we are making an earnest appeal to ZAMSA through Minister of Health that the Department of Renal be made special. What this means is that if this is detached from the general procurement system, it is going to help ZAMSA in ensuring and making sure that they have consistent supply of renal consumables. As I am talking to you, all public facilities where renal services are offered, NIPRO machine bloodlines are all finished, meaning that all the patients who are NIPRO machines are not dialyzing. An example is that of Livingstone. Livingstone has only got NIPRO machines. What this simply means is that all the patients at Livingstone General Hospital are not dialyzing. those that can afford are very few, those that are able to pay, you see, out of their pocket. Now, what does this mean? It means that, you see, patients are now being subjected to infections. And the end outcome of this is that, you see, the patients will now start succumbing to death.
And in other news trending this afternoon, a renowned constitutional and human rights lawyer, John Sangwa State Council, has clarified that the state has no legal authority over the repatriation and funeral procession of the late former president. Zambia Civil Liberties Union ZCLU Executive Director Isaac Mwanza has noted with concern the new twists in the planned repatriation. Up next, the business news.
From Radio Business News, we mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
A renowned economist, Trevor Hambai, says it is difficult for the government to sustain the appreciation of the kwacha in a short-term period, citing other economic fundamentals. In an interview with 5FM News, Mr. Hambai has attributed the recent appreciation of the kwacha mainly to trends analyzing and the offloading of the United States dollars by multinational companies in order to meet their obligations, which are due at the month end of this month. Meanwhile, Mr. Hambai has underscored the need to improve the trade balance, saying the situation makes it difficult to sustain the appreciation of the kwacha.
There are other macroeconomic indicators that come into play. So one of the things that you do see is trend analysis that is coming around the issue of tax obligation, where corporate entities are having to offload hard currency to be able to meet their tax obligation, which is due before the 21st of June. This has changed the dynamic a bit in terms of supply and demand, has put a better supply, and thus you see the appreciation aspect that you do see is obviously an international sentiment that we have seen a trend from two sides. The first one is that we've seen on the international market the weakening of the dollar against major currencies because of the disputes that have been created around the trade war.
5FM Radio Business News, we mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
And in news from across our borders, representatives of Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo have reached a draft agreement that could end decades of conflicts. The breakthrough, mediated by the US and Qatar, provides for the disengagement, disarmament, and conditional integration of armed groups in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. It also includes provisions for a joint security mechanism to prevent future flare-ups. The peace deal is expected to be formally signed next week. It would open the way for billions of dollars of Western investment in the mineral-rich region, which has been plagued by conflict for 3 decades. And in sports news, the Football Association of Zambia First Disciplinary Committee has ruled on the protest lodged by Nangweshi Pirates Football Club against Rhone United Football Club following their Group P encounter in the ongoing 2025 National League playoffs. After a thorough examination of match return forms and player registration records, the committee found Rhone United Football Club guilty of fielding an ineligible player presented identity. The investigation revealed that a player listed as Musamvu James on the Rhone United match return form was not the club for the 2024-25 season. The name is associated with a different player currently registered with Airport Warriors for the case of misrepresentation and player identity falsification. In line with Rule 3.1 and Rule 6.1 of the First National Division 1 Playoffs 2025 tournament rules, Rain United FC has forfeited the match, and the result has been officially recorded as a 3-0 victory in favor of Nangweshi Pirates Football Club. In a related manner, the disciplinary committee also reprimanded and fined Nangweshi Pirates FC following inappropriate conduct by club officials. The committee noted unsporting utterances and attempts to influence the judicial processes by members of Nangweshi technical team. In line with Article 14 of the disciplinary code, Nangweshi Pirates Football Club has been fined 3,000 kwacha to be settled before their next fixture. 25. The club is also required to submit an official retraction and apology from club official Ikando Muviana. The committee warned that further misconduct of this nature will attract harsher penalties, including possible disqualification from the competition and additional disciplinary charges. And now, the weather.
Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
Luapula, Northern and Muchinga provinces, including the northern parts of Eastern Province, partly cloudy, slightly windy and warm to hot. Maximum temperature will range between 25 degrees Celsius and 31 degrees Celsius. The evening will have few clouds, slightly windy and mild. Northwestern, Western, Southern, Lusaka, Central and Copperbelt provinces, including the southern parts of Eastern Province, few clouds, slightly windy and warm to hot. Maximum temperature is ranging between 26 and 30 degrees Celsius. The evening will have few clouds, slightly windy and mild. Ends our weather report.
Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ Roofing, plot 17 Tanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class Economy. Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
That weather item brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, a recap of the stories that made headlines. Prince Akashamba Twambi Kusita Leonika is concerned about the current crop of African leaders, Zambia inclusive, saying they fail to live up to the promises of independence. The Kidney Foundation of Zambia is appealing to the Ministry of Health to urgently intervene and resolve the micro blood lines, medical devices used in dialysis and other procedures where blood needs to be circulated outside the body. And finally, representatives of Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo DRC have reached a draft agreement that could end decades of conflict. For more news, follow us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia, and YouTube, 5FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, thank you for listening to the Happy Hour of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. My name is Lance Sannie. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.